Away from that, the coalition of citizens concerned about imminent threats to democracy and human rights in Ghana today says the anti-gay legislation currently before Parliament is the exact opposite of a promotion of human rights. The group, made up of law professors and other lecturers, in a memo forwarded to Parliament, are kicking against the, quote, undemocratic anti-LGBTQ+ bill. Now, they include Professor Kofi Jimabuedi, Dr. Rose Kuting-Mensah, Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, Professor Audrey Gajekpo, Professor Kwame Karik, Professor Mr. Akoto Ampao, and Professor Raymond Atubai. In the view of the group, the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, which is being championed by some legislators, is an impressible invasion of the inviolability of human dignity. They have been holding a press conference here in Accra. My colleague Della Michelle has been sitting through that press briefing. She'll be joining me shortly for the latest on this. But let's bring you exactly what the group wants with respect to this particular memo they have sent to Parliament. Now, for example, the LGBT bill is a major step backwards for democracy, inclusiveness, the protection of minorities and the vulnerable in society, and fundamental human rights in Ghana. So that's one of the reasons why the group says this bill should not be passed into law. It goes ahead to say the bill violates all the key fundamental freedoms guaranteed under the Constitution, namely the right to freedom of speech and expression, the right to freedom of thought, conscience and belief, the freedom to practice any religion and to manifest such in practice. The group goes ahead to say the sponsors of the bill conveniently refuse to acknowledge that not all of our cultural and traditional values can stand up to the demands of inclusiveness, diversity and fundamental rights within a democratic republic such as Ghana. They finally say the promoters of a bill seek to whip up their misguided version of Ghanaian cultural nationalism by raising the scare that LGBTQ+ rights are alien to Ghanaian culture and tradition. So those are the positions as espoused by this particular group, which are opposing the anti-LGBTQ+ bill, which is currently before Parliament. My colleague Della Michelle has been sitting through that press conference organized by this group. She joins me on the line. Della, tell us about what more this group has been saying beyond the claim that the anti-LGBTQ+ bill before Parliament is anti-human rights.
Okay, so if I did get your question right, you're asking what more the presser has to say. So if you take a look at the LGBTQ bill that Parliament has put together, there were major issues that they actually did speak on. One has to do with cultural and traditional values, and this particular group has come up to say that what was in the bill with regards to it being a foreign cultural practice being done here is actually not true. Lawyer Akoto Ampao has described this bill as a dangerous one should it go ahead and be passed in the country. Let me just cite specifically where they are getting this counter reaction from, and it's from Article 39(2), where they are saying that the state shall ensure that appropriate customary and traditional or cultural values are adopted and developed as an integral part of the growing needs of the society as a whole and in particular. So they are appealed that the Ghanaian cultural values and traditional norms are being disenfranchised here is not sufficient for the bill. So they are saying that undoubtedly this bill does not actually address the issue of cultural and traditional values when it comes to the LGBTQ. They are saying it is not an alien as is being purported. For them, they believe that all this is just to create some form of confusion and fear in the society, where there are rather issues that have to be dealt with, for instance, unemployment, for instance, the trying to complete abandoned health facilities. They're asking why Parliament is not channeling their energy towards that, but rather trying to punch holes and infringe on the rights of people, the minority, as they put the LGBTQ there. So for them, they're saying that if all these advocacies that they are doing fails, the next for them is the Supreme Court.
And Della, did they answer the question about the timing for their memo? Because I've heard a lot of people raise questions and concerns about why now for this group of individuals to come up with this particular memo. Did they respond in any way to this?
Well, so when I spoke to one of the members of this group, specifically Professor Audrey Gazako. She says that the group have actually been doing this advocacy not now. They've been having some form of discussions with the people who put together the bill, as we know, members of parliament who put together this bill, and they've been trying to reason with them. For them, there's no better time than now, looking at how there seems to be some concern when it comes to the LGBTQ and it being linked to certain activities that are being done in the country. That is what they want this particular press conference to actually make a clear statement or understanding. They are calling for evidences. For instance, where the LGBTQ activities have been linked with defilement of minors and all that in the country. They are saying that this time is the right time to have this press conference to be able to disassociate these activities that have been linked to what I just mentioned, defilement, abuse, some form of ill treatment against persons who are even supporters of LGBTQ. So for them, there's no better time than now.